Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of On Brand for Muse by Clio. I'm Nicole Purcell, the president of the Clio Awards. And before I bring out my co-host, Mr. Tim Nudd, the editor-in-chief of Muse by Clio, here's a quick word from our partners at Salesforce. Happy Thursday afternoon, Tim.
Hi, Nicole. How are you? Cheers.
I'm doing good. I'm excited for today's guest because I love food and ordering food.
Yeah, I love getting things delivered as well. We're excited today to welcome Eric Edge, who's the SVP of Marketing and Communications at Postmates. Plenty to talk about today. Lots of people been getting stuff delivered. Postmates was also recently acquired by Uber, which was a huge news. They've been putting out some cool new ads. So excited to talk about all of that and more. So let's welcome Eric Edge.
Hey, Eric.
How are you?
We are good. How are you doing? I know we're over 6 months into COVID now.
Yeah.
And how are you surviving? Where are you? Who you're living with? Like, how are you feeling right now?
I'm at home in Northern California, just outside of San Francisco. And, you know, it's the new norm. I think that we've all sort of figured out what this crazy new reality that we live in is. I think there's surprises every day. You may see some of those run down outside the steps here, which could be my twins. Yeah, I have twin 7-year-olds. They may come running down asking for help with school. They're wrapping up school right now. Could be the dog. But I'm hanging in there. You know, there's something about the authenticity of that stuff happening that just makes us all human again. And it's odd that this is what had to happen in the world for this to become the new reality. But there's actually something kind of positive that I like and that feels good about that in a time when maybe things are not that great.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear. I mean, as a marketer, are there any big challenges that you experienced, either whether it was from the beginning or even now?
Oh, geez. You know, as a marketer, the thing that stands out the most to me is that everything is unpredictable. And, you know, our life is constantly a pivot. I think as marketers, you have to do that, and we have to be good at that, and you have to be flexible, and you have to be nimble, and all these things that we know in our normal day or on a normal day.
Mm-hmm.
In 6 or 7 months, that is just, you know, gone to the max. I think this idea of flexibility and being nimble and understanding how to approach creativity in this virtual world has just been a massive challenge. But I think it's also resulted in some amazing work and some amazing campaigns that we've worked on. And, you know, again, even back to how we interact as humans and as people, I think it's actually been kind of an interesting test almost of whether this can work in a virtual world. So you know, I think there's been a lot of goodness to that. I think it's made us ground ourselves even more in who we are as a brand and how we want to communicate that brand, because, you know, in a world like this, you have to, and everything has to be very purposeful.
Yeah. Well, I love the positivity. I think it's great and it's so helpful. One of the things that Tim mentioned when he was talking about you or bringing you onto the show was Uber purchased Postmates. So I would like, what does that mean for your brand moving forward? Was this something you were a part of? Can you give us any backstory on that?
Yeah, not much I can say on Uber because we're in regulatory review still on the deal, so it hasn't closed yet. But look, I think, you know, it's sort of a culmination of many things. If you look at Postmates over the past 9 years, we've not only built an amazing business, but we've built an amazing brand. And I think that, you know, I of course am biased, and that's something that I absolutely love. But the fact that anyone could look at us and see our success, not just on the business metrics that we have when it comes to fulfilling deliveries for people across the country, but actually in the brand that we built, and that being something that was talked about during that announcement, was just, you know, not only reassuring, I think, for me and my teams and just the work that we've done, but I also think it really shows that you can stand out through doing really great work, and that could be as equally as attractive as the business that you've built, right? The brand and the business.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the competitive landscape shakes out. I'm sure Uber Eats is obviously in the mix there, so that'll be interesting. I want to talk about some of your creative work recently, Eric, though. You guys did a campaign during COVID called Order Locally. You rounded up a bunch of really cool celebs. So maybe we could take a look at that spot and then we can chat about it.
Great.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, everyone? Right now, it's really important to stay home, but also to try and support local businesses.
Go ahead and order locally.
You don't want to come out of this tough time and find that all of your favorite small businesses are closed.
Our favorite local restaurant is Hugo's.
Dudley's in Lower East Side.
Big Mama's in Papa's Pizzeria. Oh my God.
Jinya Ramen Bar.
Fontana's famous gyro.
The Griddle Cafe.
Late night food from Bossa Nova.
Fresh Brothers. It's so good and it's the comfort food I need right now.
Dee's Original Takeout Grill.
Earth Cafe.
Bear Flay.
Pizzas from Mozza to Go.
And Mel's Fish Shack.
Burgerama in North Hollywood.
Silver Lake Ramen. My favorite restaurant is Versailles.
So I hope I see you out there. I mean, I hope I don't see you out there. I hope you stay at home.
So great.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of celeb spots during COVID, right? But this one kind of stood out to me for being pretty authentic. I'd love to hear the backstory around how you kind of roped all these folks into this.
Yeah, this was what we just saw was V1 of Order Local. We did 2 versions of it. And what's crazy about this, Tim, is we pulled this together in maybe a week.
Oh my God.
Talent of that caliber, 1, often does not work within a week time frame. And 2, just being able to do what we were doing in this happened at the very beginning of COVID. And so this was all new to us. The entire virtual world of working was new. And I'll give you the insight. We sat down together and we said, look, there are some things that are truths for us and truths for who we are as a brand. And one of those is that we are able to help local merchants. Look, if you look back 9 years ago when Postmates was founded, we were founded to bring local restaurants to you on demand, or local merchants to you on demand. Those could be retailers, they could be your favorite restaurants. And so everything that we were built on was this idea that local businesses could thrive in a way where they could bring their goods to you or their meals to you on demand. And so you fast forward to a time like March when really things were just starting to be real when it came to COVID. And there was no rule book, there was no playbook. We didn't know what was going to land. We had to really think quickly, but we thought quickly in a way that was genuine, authentic to who we were as a brand. And what I mean by that is this: we turned to these people who are amazing talent, who use Postmates, maybe not every day, but several times a week. And so they use us, they love us, they know us. And we came to them and we said, look, we're not asking you to be a spokesperson for us. We're not asking you to come and be the face of a commercial that we're doing because it will benefit us per se. What we want to do is we want you to shout out your favorite local restaurant, tell us who it is, tell us what your favorite dish is there, and let us push that out, because right now, more than us needing to have, a great association with you and your likeness and who you represent, it's more important that these thousands and hundreds of thousands of merchants that are on our platform get that shout out. And so it's funny because we got the content back from a lot of the talent, and they were like, I love Postmates, and my favorite thing to Postmates is, tacos from wherever. And we cut it all out. I said, as we were in edit with the team, I said, we don't want that. This is not about Postmates. This is about your local restaurants. And to your point, Tim, it had to be authentic. And that was something that we were all passionate about. And so that's how it came about. And then we did version 2 of that about 4 weeks later. And we had John Legend and Katy Perry and Shawn Mendes and Pino, Snoop. They all came together and did the exact same thing, the exact same way. Use your phone, do a quick shoot, tell us your favorite restaurants, and just let us share that, because we want to be a lifeline to local businesses. And that was it. That was the insight.
And you had your logo at the end, but you took your name off, I noticed as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we had our logo at the end, and then we edited out all of the Postmates shout out. Again, it wasn't about them shouting out Postmates. It was about them shouting out their favorite local restaurant.
Yeah. I'd love to talk about your more recent ads too. I know one of them's doing very well. This one, this pharma parody you guys did with the pad thai. So let's have a look at that, and we can chat about that also.
Great.
Life is full of challenges, but you don't have to pad thai them alone. If you're experiencing pad thai, there may be a way to help. The life you want is waiting. Talk to your pad thai today to find out pad thai is right for pad thai, pad thai.
When all you could pad thai is think about Postmates.
Really fun spot. Tell us how it's doing and sort of how this whole campaign kind of came about for you.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about order local. That was March, April, right? This was all new to us. Gosh, it seems like forever ago. But we go back 6 months and think about the unknown that was ahead of us and how we were approaching creativity and how we were approaching storytelling. We were doing it in a bit of a different way because we needed to and we should. Coming to this summer, which is when we launched this new series of ads, and the pharma parody is one of them with pad thai. One of the things that we said was that, one, we wanted to be aware of where we all are as a society. And now you can take that for whatever that means to you, but there's a lot of things that 2020 brought at us and continues to bring at us. And we didn't want to, make light of that. At the same time, at the core of who we are as a brand, humor is something that is important to us. Clever humor, not sophomoric humor, is something I talk a lot about internally of, let's make sure that we're smart and clever and it's who we are, but it's not offensive and just raw, and we don't need to stoop down to that level. And so look, we said, let's just pivot a little bit, and we still want to have support of local restaurants. That's who we are, but let's have some fun with it. Let's bring some levity to where we're at. Let's let people smile and maybe laugh a little bit on what they see, but we don't need to do it in a way that pokes fun at bubbles that we live in, or, the social distancing that we have. Like, there's a lot of brands that are doing that. We don't need to do that. And so what you just saw was one of our ads that is just like knocking it out of the park. People absolutely love pad thai. Every time it runs, Twitter just blows up with amazing comments. And it's, as a marketer, it's great to see that. But this was, let's take ads. By the way, none of these are real ads. Let's take ads, which you think would be an ad. Let's work our agency, Mother LA. Let's work with Mother and really cut together something that you think is a pharma ad, for example. And a few seconds into it, 6 seconds into it or so, 8 seconds in, let's pop in a food. The goal there was pharma ad. Again, lots of work in pharma. Sure, lots of friends that work there, so this is no diss to them. But sometimes if it's not something that you're going to relate to, you might just get up and walk away. But as you're walking away, if you hear pad thai, wait, what? And it's meant to stop you in your tracks. And so that's sort of what pad thai does. And then as you get into it, pad thai comes up a bit more. And at the end, it's the payoff, which is when all you can pad thai is think about, which is think about Postmates. So, hopefully it made you laugh.
No, it makes you laugh, but I definitely want pad thai now. Now, once we're finished, I will be ordering pad thai. So thank you. Or thank you to the local restaurants. Do you think the landscape of home delivery, food delivery has now changed for good after COVID or with the start of COVID?
Yeah, what I would say is it was accelerated. This was something that we were all doing, but for some people, maybe it was more of a convenience factor, and it wasn't something that they were doing out of necessity. Now, COVID made it a necessity. If you wanted to reach your local restaurant, especially those first few months, there was no way you could go in. I know there's areas that are opening up now, and maybe you could go in, but there was no way you can go in. A lot of the restaurants didn't even have pickup figured out, right? So even picking up was kind of tricky. You had to call, and so what we wanted to do was just accelerate that for these partners. Not only did we accelerate it for merchants and give them that lifeline to their customers in their neighborhoods, but people who may have used Postmates once every few weeks are now, wow, maybe I'm going to use it multiple times a week because I want to get the things that I love at home because I can't go out. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that the face of it has changed. What I think is that it has accelerated in a way that allows people to understand just that end-to-end solution that it could be. Maybe it's convenience items that you're like, oh, I just don't want to venture out right now, and I want to get something from Walgreens or 7-Eleven, or maybe it's your favorite local restaurant. So I think it accelerated more than anything.
Yeah. I assume your volumes of deliveries must have gone up by a lot during this time. And does that change the marketing at all?
You know, it's tricky because the volume's been great, and I think we've had, as you might have seen, we've just had a great year. You know, it's been very positive for us. It hasn't changed the marketing per se, and what I mean by that is that we still have to take that same core approach to what we create and what we develop. We have to take the same approach to how we think about our media mix. You know, the only thing that really we pulled back on, I hate to say it because I love it as a medium, is outdoor. And so we pulled back on outdoor because we just knew that the traffic wasn't there like it was before. But besides that, Tim, it's, you know, it's the same fundamentals. We approach it in the same way, and we try to do the same high caliber work creatively that we did pre-COVID.
Yeah, Mother's done some great outdoor work for you guys in the past. I'm sure we'll get back to that in the future, but I wanted to move on a little bit beyond Postmates for a second. You know, as a top marketer, I'm curious to get your answer on this, which is such huge problems in society right now, you know, between what's going on politically, socially. Everyone, you know, a lot of people feel like the world's kind of in a crisis. You know, what should brands and Postmates in particular, you know, be doing about those problems, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, as a brand, we've not shied away from sharing our point of view on what we think is right for people and for the world. And I don't mean that politically. What I mean are, you know, as a brand, we believe in equality. We believe in, you know, the power of diversity. These are things that we've always believed in. You know, you look at our CEO, he put out something when everything was happening with DACA, and there were serious issues with people who were just in a horrible position in this country, coming into this country or having been in this country, and now having that potentially taken away from them. We don't shy away from those issues. Why? Because we believe it's the right thing to do. You know, everybody deserves to have an equal opportunity to do the things that they want to do in this country. We're a nation based on you know, immigrants. That is who we are. That is how we've grown up, and we're not going to turn our back on that as a brand and as a business. And so we've not shied away from things like that. At the same time, we think we all have a responsibility as well. And so, you know, that you can pull COVID into that. You know, we have a responsibility. We're not going to shy away from telling people, you know what, wear your masks. Or, you know, we were the first to launch no contact deliveries. Now, you might think that's crazy. This was at first or second week of March. Nobody was doing that yet. And we said, you know what? Something's at play here. We have a responsibility to be at the forefront of driving the safety message and enabling not only our fleet, but our customers and merchants to be safe. Let's make sure we take a leading position in creating no contact deliveries. Now, fast forward today, and that's the norm. But like, all these things are intertwined, right? Some might be a little more heated politically. Others maybe more a sense of responsibility. But we believe as a brand, and I believe as a marketing team, that we have the opportunity to use what we do for good to get a message out, to drive some of that home with our customers and just, you know, with people across the country.
That's great. You guys are doing such great work and great things outside of Postmates. Are there any other brands that you can mention that you think are doing a great job out there creatively, that you say, oh, wow, I, you know, put them to, whether it's our level or whatever the case may be, that you look up to?
Yeah, you know, one of my favorite, I think you guys spoke to him recently. I love what Burger King's doing. Yeah. You know, Fernando, I think the thing that I love about Fernando and his team is that they have been so great at tapping into their global network of marketing teams to come up with really amazing ideas. So often, in fact, I think the majority of the time, the amazing ideas that we see bubble to the top are actually things that started outside of the US. Yeah. I think there's something to that, and I think that's pretty amazing, right? Yeah. But if you look at what Burger King's done, they are so great at authenticity, humor, taking risks. Like, I love that. And I love that Fernando and the team at FCB and across the board have done a really amazing job at pushing that forward globally. And that's not an easy task. And so that's one that I really do look up to and think that they've just done amazing work.
I think we'd all agree. Eric, last question. Hard to predict the future right now, but what did the next 6 months look like for Postmates?
Well, I think it's a lot of what we just talked about. I think it's continuing to make sure that people know that we're able to bring them their favorite local restaurants whenever they want it. not only that, but you look outside of prepared food, there's a lot of opportunity there as well. Drinks are something, I mean, not to make fun of it, but the debates are good drinks nights. People want to order drinks in, not just food. So that's something that we've seen. We're heading into an election. That's going to be an interesting moment. But I think all of that is a bit noise, because at the core, what it is that I want to make sure that we're consistently top of mind and people remember that we're able to bring them everything they want on demand, and we do it in a way that's authentic, genuine, and we have fun while we do it.
Well, I'm definitely ordering some pad thai.
I mean, I'm doing that. So thank you for making us hungry. Thank you so much for your time. We love everything that you guys are doing, and we will be cheering you later. I don't know why I can't say that word. Cheering you later and ordering some pad thai. So thank you.
Thanks so much. Great to meet you.
Bye.
Yeah, really.
I'm so hungry right now. It's not even funny.
Me too. Yeah, interesting category. I imagine it's just going to grow and grow.
It's going to keep growing, definitely. I love it. Thank you, Tim. Right. Good to see you.
Cheers. And thank you guys for watching. For the latest in creativity every day, check out musebykclio.com. And we're back here every Thursday with new episodes of On Brand. Have a good weekend.